What up, Cubs? My name is Brendan Shabath.
I'm Grant Fogel.
And we are back with an all-new Sports With. After a long extended break, we have a great episode here for you today. We're going to start it off with the Pistons. Fogel, they're missing the playoffs again this year. That's 2 years in a row. Stan Van Gundy, 152 and 176 as a Piston. He's head coach and president of basketball operations currently. Do you think he's going to stay on for the next year?
Do I think he will stay and do I want him to stay, I think are two different things. Of course, well, I shouldn't say of course. Personally, I'd like to see Stan Van Gundy for another year or two. Yeah. I think giving him a 2-year contract extension helped the confidence, give more trust in his guys. A lot of new additions, Blake Griffin, a whole nother year or two with him. And the Pistons were only about 4.5 games back out of the 8th seed as of last night. And we've seen so much improvement with Stan Van Gundy. I think it's too early to bail out on him. But I think a lot of Pistons fans are getting tired of losing, like you said, Stan Van Gundy, losing record with the team. But I think if we just make some slight adjustments to the roster, possibly deal out Reggie Jackson, maybe sign some guys even in the offseason, we could be seeing a whole new Pistons team. Same roster playing like a whole new Pistons team.
Yeah, I feel you. I think what would be interesting, I certainly think if the Pistons don't make the playoffs next year, he's going to be gone right away, without a doubt. I think if they slip in maybe to one of the 7 or 8 seeds, they'll keep him on as coach. But if it's not a good year, I wouldn't even be opposed to experimenting with keeping him on as coach, but removing him as president of basketball operations. That's been a suggested solution. But I think it's a great move that we pick up Blake Griffin. But some people think he's damaged goods, and he's a veteran in the league now. But he's one of the first superstars the Pistons have had in a long time. So we'll see how that works out moving forward.
And I don't want to get caught up on the past, but those first 5 games with Blake Griffin, the team went 5-0. And I think that was because the team was playing kind of naturally. I think Stan Van needs to, extend the leash a little bit for his players. He's going to have to do that with Blake Griffin, and as Andre Drummond is getting older, he's going to want a lot of his own benefits of being a veteran in a few years. So definitely a lot to see change for the Pistons next couple seasons.
Certainly if Reggie can just stay healthy for more than 10 games would be nice.
Worst defender in the league. Moving
on to the Red Wings. Just breaking news just last week, the Red Wings have officially signed GM Ken Holland to a 2-year extension. A lot of fans, Fogel, don't really like this move. Ken Holland has made some questionable moves with the team lately. Yay or nay on Ken Holland for the next 2 years?
Once again, I'm going with yay.
So now, moving on to the Detroit Lions. Fogel, they look like the only hope in town for Detroit. I mean, the Tigers suck. Pistons not in the playoffs. Red Wings not in the playoffs. The Lions are the only hope, really. Matt Stafford, Jared Davis on the defensive end. What do you look for them to do this year?
Well, I was talking to Lions expert Qasim Abdullah earlier this week, and Qasim said there's a lot of hope for this team. He's going to go see them in training camp. He's always there front row trying to get some signatures. Unfortunately, no one likes to give Qasim signatures. But I like what the Lions have for next season. We are in the tough NFC North division, but as the division improves, I think we improve with it. I'd like to see Matt Stafford just be the consistent quarterback he's been for as long as he's been on the team, minus injuries. I think there's no reason that we shouldn't be a competitor in the NFC North besides for the injury bug. We've done all right seasons past, but that injury bug can really bring a team down. I think that's got to be the main point for the Lions.
I think Detroit sports teams professionally are screwed as far as a championship goes. The Vikings signed Kirk Cousins over the offseason. They signed more players on the defensive end. They're a great team. I was surprised they didn't make it to the Super Bowl last year. Green Bay is always strong. Chicago Bears, that's kind of iffy.
Chicago Bears, I don't know.
That's not a problem
there.
Green Bay,
I think they're.
I think the Lions have a 2 or 3, maybe 3-year window. If they don't even make it to the Super Bowl within then, I don't see any reason why a Detroit sports team would have a championship within the next 6, 7, 8 years. And it's been a while since we've had our last one. I mean, the Tigers getting swept in the 2012 World Series, are the last Detroit team to go to a championship. So, I mean,
Yeah, what I will say, if we don't win now, I don't know if we ever will in anything.
very true. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to the NBA playoffs real quick, Fogel. Who do you see in the finals and who do you see winning?
So I'm going a flashback a couple times now. I'm going to see Cleveland and Golden State probably in the finals, for the reason being I do not think the Sixers have the playoff experience. Everyone knows LeBron James in the regular season and postseason, two different men. There's both very dominant players, but LeBron even knows how to turn that extra notch up. And in the West, the Rockets, I think, will do well, but I think Golden State kind of been out of a groove recently. Hopefully Steph Curry back in the lineup. Him and KD work well together.
All right, that's all we have for today's Sports With. I was Brendan Shabath.
I'm Graham Fogel.
Thank you for coming.